So I had a bad boondocking experience, and I'm wanting to tell other female solo travelers so that way they trust their instincts and stay safe. So on Friday night, I was working on a project right here, and I could see this guy stomping up with his hands on his hips towards my rig. And I was like, I don't like your feeling. I don't like your energy. So I stood up and I went and stood in my hallway where there's no windows. And he didn't knock on my door, he pounded on my door. And I was like, oh, hell no. Not only do I not like your energy, but I don't like you pounding on my rig. So I just sat there and I said nothing because I didn't want them to know I was a woman by speaking. And sometimes unknown things are more scary than the known. So I was like, okay, we're going to stay unknown. I'm going to stay quiet. Now, he had a lot of passive aggressive moves, such as Friday night, he shut off his generator by 8:30 because we're not out in the middle of nowhere to listen to a generator. But last night, when it was just me and him at the site, he kept it going until 10:30. He also drove through my site trying to hit my Starlink, which I'm just like, whatever, because the soft shoulder, I was just like, oh, you keep doing that, you're gonna roll off into the hill, but okay. Of course, today when I wake up, he's banging everything around, trying to wake me up. And it's just like, I've been awake for a while. You don't know it because I don't alert it to the world when I wake up. But to each their own. Now, when I went to start my morning coffee, I could see that they had their piles for their pack out. I've shown you a video of how I do my pack out. Their pack out included all of their stuff, and then 20 feet behind where their car was parked the night before, there were 2 bags of trash. So I decided that for my safety, I was going to record. That way, if I said anything, they would see the camera and they would put them in check because I already had a feeling. And exactly that. She had reminded her husband, don't forget the generator. And I gave it a beat of 3. And I said, don't forget your trash either. Of course, she whipped around, saw that I was recording, and swallowed her words. Her husband, of course, got very, very steamed. But I wanted to let them know that I was serious. You leave that trash behind, I will call the cops for littering. And I have your plate information, so you'll get charged or fined. He then took a picture of my vehicle. That's fine. I wasn't trying to litter. I leave no trace. I actually, even to the spot that I'm at right now, went ahead and cleaned up some of the trash. So if for some reason you don't get a good feeling about someone, it doesn't have to be justified because I did not have a good feeling about that person. And obviously, if they're going to litter and they're going to be rude and inconsiderate to other campers around them when boondocking, then they're not good people. So I'm so happy I didn't engage. I don't care what he wanted on Friday night. As I said, everything about him and that family, I was like, I'm going to stay away. And the only reason I engaged is because they were going to leave 2 bags of trash behind. So stay safe out there, everyone.